If you had to start all over again to hit 10K a month, what is the biggest piece of advice that you would give? Jared, are you still on here?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? I am super happy to be back with my agency lab family. Guys, this is where it all started for me. I'm going to go as quickly as possible with this. I feel like I've been on so many roundtables at this point, and I give the same answer. So you guys already...
I know, man. The problem is the best things need to be said over and over and over and over again.
Right. Dude, we have this thing at our company that Matt coined. It's the chief reminder officer. Everyone is a chief reminder officer, a CRO, because you have to constantly keep reminding people. So to get started, to
that's cool.
The first question, it really comes down to a mentor. I think you can look at free trials, and if you've listened to my roundtables before, I literally have a free trial masterclass in the course that you guys should all have watched if you're just getting started off. That's going to get me to 10K. But diving back before that, it's the mentor. And I think I realized it's when I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I realized that education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. And when I realized that the school system was not the route that I was going to go down to really build my wealth or go into my career. But I still needed a mentor. I still needed some form of education. And YouTube videos are great. Courses are great. But being able to hop on calls like this, go to events, connect with people, ask people questions virtually or in person, that's the game changer. And the first program that I ever bought was Billy Wilson's, an amazing program, changed my life. It's the first thing I ever invested in. But joining Billy's program, then joining Joel's program and Sergio and Mark, that was game changing because I had people that I could go to. I could ask questions. I wasn't just watching videos. I was part and surrounded by a community, and the community inspired me to level up. I think that would be the first thing that I would do if I was going to start, find a mentor.
And I think what you did really well too is like, so many people are tempted to like find the mentor that's like only a few steps ahead. You're like, okay, Billy, 10K a month, then Joel, 100K a month, right? Like for example, right now I'm diving into real estate. So I'm trying to convince my neighbor who does millions and millions and millions of dollars in real estate, who's 70 years old, to come and teach me. I don't want the person who just started doing real estate last year and has had some success.
You don't want me teaching you.
I mean, unless you got some crazy, estate AI superpower.
I just do what Dr. Connor tells me to do. That's it.
Well, Dr. Connor's really, really smart. There's also exceptions to the rule. He's got crazy high IQ, extremely high IQ. So Jared, what's the biggest challenge you had to overcome? And maybe you can talk about, what's the biggest challenge you overcame? And then also, how did you balance everything with high school?
You eliminate the problem from being a problem in the first place. So for me, I just made sure high school wasn't a problem. I didn't do my homework. I was failing high school. And that's the answer. I didn't balance it. There wasn't a balance. I wanted something bad enough. And when you want something bad enough, there is no balance to it. You go all in. There's no other option. Because at the end of the day, when you have a fucking gun to your head and you need to make your dreams a reality, you're not going to worry about a balance. You're just going to make it fucking happen. So to answer your question, I didn't balance high school. To dive deeper into it, the biggest challenge that I had was volume. When we look at the core of my agents, for my progression of starting an agency to where I'm at now, the thing that I was missing out on was volume. And yes, we can attribute that to not having the right mentors, to not being focused, but this is the same problem that everyone else has. When you look at the core of your problem, it's volume. You're not talking to enough people. You're not getting enough appointments, and thus you're not closing enough deals. So just getting more volume. And I think when I realized that, that's when I was like, I could just cold call people all day long, offer free trials. Like Matt said, it's crazy how success leaves clues, and how I've mentioned this every one of our roundtables, and other people have mentioned it too. That's what I would do. Just get a ton of free trials, and that's going to solve my volume issue. How did I overcome that? Once again, I had to realize that there was a gun to my head. I was a senior in high school. I wasn't going to college. I either had to make money doing this or I was going to college. And college, in my opinion, was like a noose around my neck. That's it.
Wow. Dude, you're a savage, by the way. No one saw that coming. You're crazy. And I love it. I love it. I told you guys, you gotta be a little, I told you guys, you look at anyone that's had crazy amounts of success, they have to be a little crazy, like, because you're going against the status quo. Like, you're quite literally going in the opposite direction, and I think it requires a little bit of crazy, and not in a sense of like not being normal. It's just you're going against what most people do. So I freaking love that about you, man. Jared, in high school, did your parents give you pressure? Was there any like teachers getting mad at you? Like, was there anything like that? Or did you just use your charisma to get through it?
That's
I feel like
point.
Jared just like sweet talked his teachers and then all was well.
I'll be honest, I paid people to do homework for me. I would cheat on all my tests. I'm not gonna lie about that. I went back to my high school because they asked me to teach about business. They asked me to do a presentation, and I told them exactly what I was doing in their class, and they just started laughing. But now I went back and I was making more money than all of them, so they weren't mad. I guess they were happy with how I turned out. But dude,
that's crazy. They brought you back.
Man. Like so many people, it's not that big of a deal. I didn't care what my mom said. I didn't care what my dad said. I didn't care what my teacher said. I knew where I was going, and that was the only thing that mattered.
Wow, that's cool, man. So you had a very strong vision and a very strong why.
I don't think I had a strong vision. I didn't know what to expect.
Okay, then tell me more. What do you mean by I knew where I was going? Let's dive deeper. You just had a feeling.
Sergio says this a lot. He has this knowingness. You guys all get that feeling, like you have that knowingness. I just had this knowingness that I was going to do something big. I didn't know what it was going to be. I didn't have a clear vision, but at the end of the day,
I see what you mean. You had a strong intuition and drive.
100% because you don't get clarity from thought. You get clarity from action. I still am lacking a little bit of clarity. But
wait, say that again, because that was really good.
You don't get clarity from thought. You get clarity from action. So you just have to take massive, massive action, and then everything will be clear. And you know what? Damon John says this best. I walked up on stage and I asked Damon John to mentor me years ago. And he actually said yes, because he lives in New York and I'm in Jersey, so we're not far away from each other. And I asked Damon, will you mentor me? And one of the things that I learned from Damon is that you can't connect the dots looking forward. You have to collect the dots looking backwards, and then you'll connect them looking forwards. So collect the dots now, and you'll connect them later on.
Jared, that was amazing, man. Guys, let's drop a 1 in the chat for Jared. That was freaking awesome. Again, feel free to stay if you need to go. No worries at all.